You mentioned earlier that you took a scene writing class.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the things that you learned, or maybe you received feedback, like if you wrote a scene and showed it to the rest of the class or the teacher and then got these notes? What were they?
Well, I'd probably say the biggest thing that I learned was that my gut and how I feel about a scene and how well it will do is usually pretty off, pretty inaccurate. So I'd walk into class sometimes feeling super confident that everything was super clear and engaging in my scene. And then people would have questions or they had problems with, and I was like, and I'd listen to that. And then after I'd hear them speak, I'd be like, oh, actually, yeah, why did I feel so confident? And then there are other times when I remember my teacher told me, forget everything I said, just write the scene, just write it out, do it sloppy, whatever. And I did it kind of sloppy. And I was like, oh, this is gonna get torn up in class. This is gonna be the worst scene ever. And then everybody had all these great things to say. So your gut as a writer, sometimes when you're learning, might be a little bit off. And yeah, I noticed that that my writing would improve once my gut would be in check with everybody else. So.
Were you just like in the scene with Marty McFly, or with George McFly, sorry, where he's writing, and you can see he's very passionate about it, but he doesn't want to show it to anybody, and he says, because I don't want anyone to criticize it. Mm-hmm. How was it for you to show your writing to the class?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, I was, when my teacher picked out that scene, it was terrifying, and it was it was a successful scene. I mean, I felt pretty good about it too. It was the one time I felt good, and it actually turned out to be okay. And I was super nervous, but as a writer, you have to practice that. You have to get your work out there, and you have to know that not everybody's going to like it. Even the whole thing with I was just saying about feeling super confident about it. That all came from me thinking. I was thinking about what other people would think about it, not asking myself, how did I feel about my own thing that I wrote? Really, I just feel like, it's just something that you have to practice, and you have to know that it's not going to get a reaction. It's okay if it doesn't get everybody in the class, loves it. It's okay.
I think too, I like it when people in the class are way better than me, because it gives me something to aspire to. And it doesn't matter if they're way younger or not. It's just nice to know, wow, okay, that's possible. Yeah, I like how that person worded that, and I like what they're saying, and then it kind of gives me something to kind of set a goal for.
And so it rubs off on you a little bit?
Yeah. Because sometimes if I'm not happy with something, then I just want to see other people that are, I've taken classes where I was just sort of totally humbled by how great everyone was, and it's actually kind of nice to listen to other people read, and people that they were so quiet in class and you would never expect that to come from them, and you were like, wow, that's brilliant. Mm-hmm. And otherwise they were so unassuming, they didn't want to be noticed, and then they would write, and you were like, that's amazing, and they didn't think so.
Mm. Yeah, it's good to take those classes where you feel like you want to improve. You have a big learning curve that you want to go through, but I've also taken classes where they were a little more basic, and I was actually one of the better writers, and those classes are good too, because it shows you how far you've come. So yeah, I think taking classes as long as it's with a good teacher is good.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I miss those classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Seems like now stuff is too online, and I miss that.
Right.
Sitting in the classroom and listening to the teacher. So it's.
Well, just watch the DVD commentary that we did. That's all you need.
Okay,
if you're a
there
writer.
you go.